Okay, what I want to do next is to bring this text and image side by side in one line, probably close to each other. This is just a welcome message to the bakery, and I think it goes well with the image. So what I want to do is to put these two elements side by side. As you can see in a default HTML format, once you add a new element, it goes after the previous element. So if you want to put them next to each other, there's a few things we need to do there are different ways to do it, but what I want to do is one of the easiest way to achieve that. And in order to do that, the plan is to change the display for this image and this p tag in a way that they're going to be in line. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, this image and this p are the two elements that we want to be in line. So we want to control both of them in a way that they are going to be standing side by side. Let's go ahead and give them IDs or classes so we can control them individually. Now what I want to do is the changes I want to make on these two are different. So if I don't want to select both at the same time, I will have to go with an ID. Otherwise, I could give both of them the same class and then call the class and add the changes I want for both. But in this case, I want them to have different design rules. So let's go ahead and give an ID to my image, which I will say main img for main image, and I will go ahead and add another ID for the p tag, and I'm going to call this main p for main paragraph. Now that I have created these two IDs, I can call them on the CSS and control them one by one. So let's go ahead. There are some similar attributes I want to add design-wise. So let's first go ahead and select both in one line and see what are some of the things you want to give both of them. So first of all, main img, and then I put a comma and I select the next ID, main p. And one thing they have in common is their display, which is going to be inline block. So the display inline block is going to make sure that they are going to be in one line as long as the total width of the two elements is not more than the width of the parent, which is 100% at the moment. Now, I know that my image width is 500 something pixels, but my P doesn't have a width at the moment, so it's just taking as much width as possible. So what I want to do is to limit that. So my paragraph width is going to be equal to, let's give this 500 pixels for now, and we will test and see how it looks. So I'm going back and refresh the page to see the result. Okay, so as you can see, now they are side by side, and the width of my text is almost the same as the width of the image. So on one side you have the image, on the other side you have the text. Now there are a few issues. One is that your text has been aligned by default to the bottom of your image. Do you want it to be on the top? Do you want it to be aligned center? These are questions that we should think about. But before we go ahead and decide which one to pick, let me show you a line on the top and a line in the middle as well. And of course, we are going to increase the font size, change the font family, and some changes on the text to make it more attractive as well. So let's go ahead and add the second element that these two items are going to have in common. That is going to be vertical align, and at the moment it's at the bottom. I will change this to top, and as a result of doing that, you can see, you save and you refresh, and you will see the text jumped up to the top. Now maybe you don't want it to be on the top or at the bottom, and you want them to be aligned in the middle. In that case, you can go ahead and change this to middle. And let's take a look. That's where the text is now. So I think I will keep my text in the middle, and then I'm going to see if I can make the whole design of the text a little bit better, larger, and maybe change the font to a sans serif font. So it's the default font at the moment. And one more thing, I want some more space between these two elements. So I know each one is about 500 pixels now, but I want to add some margin between them. And that's also another element they're going to have in common. So I will add the margin here where I have selected both main image and the main paragraph. So I'll give them a complete margin, meaning that it's not just the margin left or right or top or bottom, it's all four sides. So if you don't specify which margin you want to change, it is going to change all four sides of the element. And I'm going to give this a 2em margin for now and just give it a try, see how it looks. Okay, as you can see now, there is more space between the image and the text, and also added some space on the top, which I also welcome. The more space we have in designs of this sort, the better. It's gonna look more beautiful and more modern as you have more spaces. You don't want everything to be cramped into each other. Okay, now let's focus on the text a little bit here. So for this one, I want to go with one of the default sans serif fonts. So let's try a few of them and let's see which one looks more beautiful here. So I'm selecting the tag that is only for ID main paragraph, and I will change the font family to so this is a good group of family: Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. And again, you know, the reason you might choose multiple font families is that if one of them didn't work, it will go to the second one. And finally, you have the most rudimentary default font that you are sure is available on all of the browsers. Okay, so that's the font family. I want to change the font size to something much larger than what it is at the moment. So let's start with 2.5 em, and I will see how large it is. Maybe it's too large for us. And one other thing I want to do, let's do that a little bit later. So let's see what we have up to this point. So you see, this is too large, the 2.5. I do want this text to be large. This is an important introduction, which matches the image we have here, but this is a bit too big of a text now. So let's go ahead and reduce the font size a little bit to maybe 2em. Another thing I wanted to do is to make my font weight lower, so to make the lines thinner rather than thick. So let's see if that's gonna have a beautiful effect. So a font weight of, let's go with the minimum and take a look. Okay, so that didn't change much. So the default Arial came with the thinnest font. We can make it bold if we want to, but I don't want to make it bold. One other thing I want to do is, as you can see, this text at the moment is following the parent's instructions of text align center. I want it to be text align left, so that on the left side, they are neatly organized on one line on the left. So let's do that. And then we can also try different fonts. So one thing I want to do is remove this. This one didn't have any effect for the Arial font family that I'm using at the moment. So what I want to do instead is to change the text align to left only for this paragraph. There you go. So you see it is beautifully aligned left now, and it's like a short description for the Lotus Flower Bakery. And I just want to find a better font for this text. Make it look more beautiful in terms of the design of the font, and maybe making it a little bit fancier than what it is.